So, after the previous video killing 2 stock Jad on task in the fight caves, I needed a new Slayer task. I've just stopped off at Duradel and I've been given Kalphites, one of my least favourite tasks. I've decided to make this burden an opportunity. I'll tackle the boss monster Kalphite Queen for the first time and tick off as many combat achievements as I can. After forgetting my shanty pass on the way, having to stop off at the bank to offload some supplies, trying this agility shortcut, wondering where this strange passage goes, and then subsequently not realising I needed a second rope to get to the Kalphite Queen lair, I eventually make it to the boss arena and give it a go for the first time. To be honest, at this point I don't really know what to expect. I'm trying to do all of this guideless, but I recall from videos that some kind of overhead prayer is required, and I know that she prays against certain stars from the old days when Verax was the meta. After a huge spec from my Bando's Godsword on the second hit fills me with confidence, I get a few big hits from my Keris Partisan. It's a spear weapon with boosted damage against Kalphites, so it's one of the best in slot weapons here and it's free from a quest. A little guy spawns and gets on me and I have no idea if I should kill him or not. He's just a cute little guy, so I ignore him and make it through to phase 2 of the fight. I switch to my range gear as this form is invulnerable to melee, using blowpipe with amethyst darts. It's at this point I notice that I've bought a range shield, the book of lore, when the blowpipe requires 2 hands. It's mistake number 1. I also realise I've left my Ava's device unequipped. Ava's device returns arrows and other ammunition instead of dropping it to the ground, so I leave 10,000 GP worth of darts just sitting there on the floor. I tank as long as I can, but sadly have to teleport away and leave that big money ammo on the ground. On my second kill, I realise if I get back to the boss arena quick enough, I can have another go at killing the second form, but she despawns before I can have another crack at her. 2 reasonable special attacks from the Godsword this time, but I feel like I just got annihilated by the magic attacks on this one. I vaguely remember something about step unders in an Extra Keen Junelord video, but I try that to no avail. I've literally never done a step under, so I suppose it was worth a try. I hold out for as long as I can, but by the time the second form comes out, I know it's all over and I have to teleport away. Third time lucky, I get there before she despawns and get the kill. Feels a bit cheap, but I unexpectedly get a combat achievement, Chitin Penetrator. Kill the KQ whilst her defences were last lowered by you. Those BGS specs are coming in handy. I go for one more kill just to prove to myself I can do it in one trip. And this is where I kind of realised that step unders are a useful technique for eating and avoiding the KQ's attacks. Eating delays your attacks so you can't do any damage for a bit, but the boss can't hit me if I'm stood underneath her. I spend a lot of time experimenting with this as I believe this skill will come in useful in much harder bosses later on. I make it to phase 2 with a reasonable amount of food to spare, so I'm feeling hopeful at this point. I take some big hits, but deal some out back in return. She gradually knocks me down to no food and super low HP. With the assistance of some poison damage, I just about scrape the kill. Having a look at the other challenges, I spot a challenge to kill the Kalphite Queen using Vengeance. After taking some big hits in the last battle, that could be a fun one to try. Vengeance works by returning a portion of the damage taken to you and dealing it back to the monster, so this could speed up kills dramatically. I don't have much money right now and don't own Verax, so we'll see about that one. I decide to go for the Vengeance challenge as my house is in Relica, not far from Lunar Isle. I go to switch to the Lunar spell bit required for casting it, but on the way I've realised that spells require levels and Vengeance is quite high. I'm miles away from the appropriate level, so the Verax challenge it is. I outblasted my Vorkarth loot from last week and splash out 700k at the GE, and away we go. I gear up in Verax. Verax armour has a special effect where if you wear the full set, it has a 25% chance of a guaranteed hit, ignoring defensive bonuses and prayer. With a quick pit stop at Alcarid Bank for ropes, I head to the KQ's lair once more. Attacking with Verax honestly feels awful. I had no idea how this was the meta when I was a kid. I hold on for as long as I can, but no luck this time. I return once more with more healing resources. I'm confident now with a step under eating, and I'm also pretty sure Verax Flail is a slow enough attack speed that it's worth doing the step unders with a normal attack cycle. If a boss attacks faster than you, stepping under delays their attacks until you're out from underneath them. This is really handy for taking less damage over the course of the entire fight. I don't know if it actually helps much at Kalphite Queen, but I felt like it did, and either way, it was good practice. This fight was a real slog too. I was using Saradomin Imbrues for healing, and as you can see in the top left corner of my screen, they reduce your stats. I'm using Divine Super Combat Potions to boost my stats, So after every heal, I need to use my super restore potions to restore my stats to normal before boosting them again. This is a real pain as using a divine potion damages you for 10 hit points on use. With a bit of persistence, the boss is down and the Verrex challenge is complete. I still have the kill count task and the vengeance task to do, but I'll wait until I've got vengeance for that. This boss hits like a truck and that spell is going to help me speed up kills a lot. Thanks for sticking around. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, as next time I'll be trying to complete all the achievements for my first boss.